Hi folks, today I want to talk about how you can approach studying programming languages, basically any programming language. And I'm gonna give you some tips how to do it in a more efficient way. So, tip number one, learn some computer science basics first. Don't think that if you, so basically what I see that a lot of students thinks think that if they know how to create a folder and put some doc file into it, they know all the basics and they're ready to study programming languages. That's simply not true. You are not ready, you need to put more time and effort to study what is a file system, what is a file, what is a folder, what are file extensions, how the data is stored on your hard drive, what are bits and bytes, and so on and so on and so on. So only after that you can do some, you can start studying programming language, but learn the basics first. Tip number two, you need to change your mindset by starting to look at things as objects with a set of properties and methods or set of functions. For example, any person is an object. He has some properties like height, weight, eye color, and so on. And he has some methods or actions that he can do. He or she can do eat, sleep, run, write, read, and so on. So those are methods, properties and methods. Anything can be an object. Faucet in the kitchen sink is an object. Your smartphone is an object. Each object has a set of properties and methods. When you started to look at things like that, you will gain understanding of programming languages much faster, believe me. Now, tip number three, do more practice. Only practice will make you understand something, will teach you something, will teach you how to code. What I see that many students think that if they will jump from one course, if they didn't quite understood one course, they are jumping to another one, hoping that the new course will teach them how to code, how to write your code. But it's simply not true. You will forever stay at the beginner level with such approach. Only when you start to do more practice, to write code, create tasks for yourself, create some projects, and implement them by making mistakes and learn from your own mistakes, only this will give you the knowledge, but not attending like 100 or 10 courses. It will not give you anything. So take just any course that you enrolled in as a backbone and Google all the subjects or topics that you are unfamiliar with, invest a lot of time, be ready to invest a lot of time and effort in the online studying during your leisure time. If you will only attend classes on your course once a week for 2 hours for some online lecture or something like that, you will never teach how to learn how to write a code. So we are ready to invest more time and practice more. Tip number 4. Write down the rules and learn them by heart. Some simple rules, basic rules for syntax of the programming language you are studying. Like for example, that in most programming languages, every block of code, regardless if it's class, methods, or loop, it should be surrounded by curly braces, and at the same time curly braces defines visibility scope for variables inside it. If the variable is declared inside some curly braces, it most likely not visible outside of them. Overall, like each line inside code block should be ending with semicolon. You should use camel case for variables and so on. So write down all of these rules and read them each time you are going to write your code. This way you will put this memorization on the autopilot and you will eventually memorize it. Next one. Always clean up and format your code before you're submitting it for review or showing it to someone. And it means that you shouldn't leave any unnecessary empty lines, like 2 or more empty lines in your code, because in reality, how you write your code tells more about you that you might think to the person that you are showing it to. Let me give you an example. So this is how your code should look like, clean and readable. Means that there are only one empty lines. There is only one empty line between each method. No empty lines inside each method. So you see clearly where each method starts and finishes. In reality, 100% of students write code like that. And you see everything is aligned in terms of intents from the beginning of the line. And this is how students write code. And submit for review. Like that, like that. Like that. So what you can see or understand from this code? What you can tell when you see this code? When I see seeing this code, I can tell that person doesn't care about writing clean and easy to read code. Why it's such an issue to reformat your code and remove on empty lines? I don't understand. So please develop a habit to align everything properly. Do not leave empty lines. Clean up your code every time you submit it or show it to someone. When I see a code like that during the hiring interviews, I'm not going to hire this person, because if he doesn't care how he writes the code, then I wouldn't want to work with such kind of person. He or she will create a mess in a code. I don't know basic rules that you should write clean and concise and formatted code. Okay, let's go further. And my last tip will be use simple text editor instead of advanced IDE. Integrated development environments, basically it's advanced text editors for developers with auto-completion. So don't use them, use simple text editors instead. This way you will, at least at the beginning of your journey, this way you will develop muscle and visual memory, how to construct your code, how to write your code, to learn syntax and constructions of the programming language you're studying. It might be not so fun as using IDE, but again, auto-completion will not make you any good when you start studying something. You need to memorize how to write this or that construction. And for example, let's say, I will give examples in Java. Let's say you are studying how to create classes and methods in Java, what are they, and so on. So go ahead, Google it, read theoretical part, there are explanations, what are methods, classes, code examples, and don't just copy paste them into your code or homework directly. Just read them through and then try to reproduce them from scratch in just simple text editor without any auto-completion. Let me give you an example. So let's say we have some kind of abstract task to create a music player that can play some sad or other music. That's the definition. Let me copy it. Now you take it, go to text editor, paste definition. So first of all, how you should think and approach this. So create a music player. I told you earlier that everything, every thing can be represented as an object. So basically this task means that you should create some object, and this object should be able to do something. So how you create an object in Java? First of all, I need to define class. So let's say public music player. Again, you go here, read how to create these things, try to memorize it, and then try to reproduce it. That's what I'm doing. This is the syntax for class creation, and this class should be able to play music. It means that we should create method inside this class. It will be public void play music. Public because it will be accessible outside the class. Void means that we are not going to return anything from it. Again, curly braces to define body of this method. And here we will simply say system out println. And in Java we should use double quotes that can play sad music and other music. So basically from this we can understand that we should add some parameter, type of music or kind of music. So it will be string, let's say kind, type. Music. And here we are saying plain music. Plain plus something that we are passing into this method, and then space music. Do not forget semicolon. So this will be one class, another class. So we are going to create an object and call method on object in a main class. So let's write the code for it. Public class main. And here in main we should have public static void main method as an entry point for the program. Static void main, and it should have string array args. And now inside this method we can create our object. So we will say, again, go Google it, try to write it. Google something, try to write it. Music player equals new music player. That's how we create an object in Java. And then we say player dot play and let's say set from the task definition. So after you wrote everything in a simple text editor, now you can go and paste your code to IDE to check what errors you made or you haven't made. So let's go ahead, create new project. Hello world. No. Say music player. Add sample code. Yes, don't need to change anything else. Create. So this is boilerplate project that print out hello world. Let's run and see if it works or not. Without our code it works, no errors, okay. Now we need to create this class. And by doing that in simple text editor and creating this on practice manually again, you will memorize much more rather than if you just read it and do nothing, or watching the video and do nothing. Practice makes perfect. Do as much practice as you can. So create new Java class, music player, and I will just copy and paste what I have here. Nothing is highlighted in red, so everything looks fine. Oops, basically this is mistake. Let's rename it to play. And in main, go ahead and paste this part. So again, since I want to check how well I memorized everything, I am deleting everything and inserting everything that I wrote from scratch. This is why I renamed it, because I used play here. Now let's run and see if it works or not. Save it, run it. Yeah, play and set music. So approach writing your code in this way. I would highly advise you to do that. Do not use IDE initially unless you memorize all the constructions. Otherwise, with auto completion and all the advanced features, it will not make any good for you at the beginning of your programming studying way. So basically that's it. See you in the next video.